they had like half submitted it, and he was working with them to finish it, and it was a cluster, and then it came in.
Okay.
But there are the building permit and the driveway permit for the subdivision,
Subdivision.
Memorial Drive, whether they like it or not.
Well, it's approved, so there's nothing to discuss.
So the property folder has a letter from all their neighbors back in 2006 saying how they don't want it. Oh well, sorry.
He meets the criteria.
You need housing, right?
Okay, we should be live. You sure?
Yep.
Alright, share. How long will it last? Share. Facebook. Share. Citizens. Share. Facebook. 6 o'clock?
Did you do the updates on that? You did?
I don't know if that fixed it or
I
not.
noticed in the past it was like way behind, but.
I updated everything that was needed to be on it. Alright, so I'll go ahead and call the Board of Selectmen meeting to order. It is 6 o'clock on March 6th, 2025, here at the beautiful Troy Town Hall. And we'll go ahead and jump straight into board member comments. We'll start with my left, Curtis Hopkins.
For the rec, this Friday, tomorrow, roller skating at the Troy School. It's gonna start at 6, I'm pretty sure it goes till 9 o'clock. Helmets are required, so if you do go, please bring a helmet. They have a limited amount of helmets that were donated. So roller skating tomorrow, Friday, and then the St. Patrick's Day dinner, the community dinner that we do every year is gonna be March 15th from 4 to 6. There's 180 pounds worth of meat. There's gonna be 100 pounds of potatoes, so it'll be first come, first serve. Make sure you get there early. And then next Tuesday is town voting. That's gonna be at the community center over on South Street, starting at 10, going to 7 o'clock. And then town meeting will be at Troy School at 7 p.m. That's all I got.
Alright, jump to my right.
I have no comments. I have a question for Jerry, why all the non-publics were in the first section though. Well, normally we have these tabs so that things are in order.
Yeah, to separate them in the front, if you want them a different number.
Well, the non-public's at the end, so they should be at the end.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay, I don't know if that's a comment. It's more about
Usually the agenda item's there whether we use it or not at the end.
Well, it's there and you have stuff, so.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
I guess I didn't put that much thought into it.
I got nothing for tonight for.
That's why the tab says non-public. At the back, that's why that.
Oh, there is
tab
one
says
that's
that.
non-public.
I didn't know.
I was going with 10, that's where it was out of the list.
I don't even use a binder, just.
Okay.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and jump right in. We've got a couple of quotes for laptops.
No public comments.
No public here.
Yeah, no public for public comment, sorry.
Yeah,
Public.
so the welfare desktop in there, I don't know if anybody's been in the office, but it makes most life times more. It's the oldest one, it's the next one to be replaced. And with the new hire, I figured getting a laptop that she could bring home and work from home rather than having to worry about remoting in would be ideal, plus she'd be replacing the old desktop. Then the other quote is, we talked about this last year a little bit in our office, that we'd upgrade Eddie's computer with that laptop, and then her old laptop would go to the planning board as their Zoom
laptop.
and media laptop. That's older now.
So you're probably gonna have to update your quotes. Because they're the exact same laptop, which it seems to be, you've got a $75 difference.
I know. From them, like a week
Or
apart.
two different companies?
No, same company, that's the worst part, it's localized and it's the same exact laptop. So, just be cautious about that if we plan on doing that.
Did you run these by Amanda?
No, I can know.
I would suggest you do that.
I know I can get one for a lot cheaper than
Yeah.
and one that has twice the amount of RAM and
Yeah.
solid state hard drive.
Well, she built my current computer, which is the last one I bought, that PC was like cool. Those tail fins and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Ebby's can wait, that's not as pressing, but, I just like to give Lisa the ability to work from Margaret.
Sure, well, we probably ought to see, we'll have to wait a week and find out what we're gonna have for money, so.
We already have money in there, we looked at the last page,
Oh, and the,
12,000.
that's the computer fund?
Yeah,
Are we the agents to expand on that?
yes.
Oh, all
You are now, and then according to DRA, I had to put it in the language to add you again, even because I was just changing the wording to add software into it.
right, okay.
So I added it again, so according to that, you have to go back and rename the agents again, but yeah, you already are.
Are we voting on that next week?
That town meeting,
Yeah.
yeah. The only change is
If
to
nothing
add,
else, we can buy the hardware.
yeah, the only change is to add the word software, so we could buy, see if we want to change financial software or something down the road.
Yeah,
It's not cheap.
big money, yeah. So that's waiting for follow up with Amanda or see if we can get cheaper.
GJ, do you have a guess like what the ballpark would be?
I can go to Costco, get this exact thing for 500.
Right.
Just
So-
again, like, can we authorize the answer, or just so we can order it?
Can you take a look at the,
I mean,
on these computers and see if you think you can?
I could probably find a 16 gig,
No, but
1 terabyte hard drive for 600.
Took care of that part.
I'd say let's wait one more meeting
Okay.
to discuss it again,
Yeah, Amanda will give us a price too.
and I'll do my research, and Amanda will do her research, and we'll see what we can come up with.
That works.
I wish they put more of the specs on these, but they never do.
No, that makes it too easy to bid out a competing bid.
Because the one thing you're missing on here would be what type of processor it has.
And the difference seems to be the docking station.
Well, that's a separate.
But yeah, but getting the rank for laptops, that's good, which is great.
It's okay, I do this sometimes for my company too. It's quite interesting. All right. Tent rental request.
One, does this work?
Yeah, this is, when is this for?
September 27th.
Oh, there it is, event date, 9/27.
Kinda looks like 2021, so I'm kinda confused.
Don't you need I guess that's a 5. Don't you need a day before or a day after to set it up and take it down?
Probably be nice.
What day of the week is that, do you know?
Well, opening our phones, look at calendars.
Yep,
Who can get there first?
September 27th is
Thursday.
a
April
Saturday. So, probably needs a,
Friday to Sunday.
that's what I would think. And what do we charge for this? Do we charge for this?
50.
50. That's it.
You wanna amend this and make it an application for 9/26 or 9/28?
Yeah.
Do you wanna run it by the boss first?
Oops.
Folks, just join us if you don't mind signing in. That'd be great. Oh, it just went on. Good. Like, is there a pen on now? Look at that, Jeremy. Put a pen up there.
Yeah, I did.
So we need to vote to, I move that we approve the tent rental to Christina Howell for 9/26 through 9/28 of this year.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Oh, I'll second.
All right, any further discussion on that?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There. Alright. That one.
Needs 5 building permit.
Still on?
I'll say actually, I haven't opened those. I think it is. It's everything. Alright, so now we've got,
I only see 2 permits. There should be 5 permits.
actually one for each lot
Each
slash
property.
building.
Yeah.
There was 5 submitted.
Did she just do 2? You've got the, what's in the original?
That would be the hard part, if that's what we have to
You do.
vote on each one.
And they're $2,200 a piece?
It was 20, it's a total,
For all of them?
yeah.
Yeah, that seems high, that's why I asked.
One. Because the way this is written is it's multiple lots and multiple things, it should be, there should be a permit for
Each
each one.
building needs its own permit. I think that's an error on Heavy's part. Well, he doesn't have to be here with the physical permits. He's a- So I move that we approve the building permits for what, for map 13, lot 1, map 1 through 5, and that's 5 permits. And that'll be permit numbers 2025-06, 07, 08, 09, 10,
Can't do that.
why not?
There's another one right here that's 07, and another one right here, 08.
Yeah,
So honestly, I think we have to decline it for now and have it redone with the rest of them added on. Because we don't know where she's at with her numbers.
oh, the last one would be 8,
Okay, we just started at 9.
yeah, so should be
Sorry,
6,
I don't
6,
see.
9, and then up.
6, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 2025 6, 2025 9, 2025 10, 2025 11, and 2025 12.
That works. Separate them out.
It's the same house on each one, right?
Yeah, it's the same exact house on each one, and I don't need to take anything tonight, so
So
if she wants to correct stuff on
Well,
Monday, that's
she
fine.
kinda did it as, she took the money for everything, but did it as a consolidated one permit fits all, which isn't correct.
Yeah, we submitted it as separate ones, just
Yeah.
so you know.
Chairman, are you allowing any public comments?
We're past the public comment stage on this, but we can possibly discuss it. But we have a motion on the table, we have to get into that in just a second.
That's what I was going to address is, I'm going to ask that Selectman Thaxton recuse himself from making any motions or voting in this matter. Based on him having, business practices with Mr. Bannon, sorry.
I
You don't-
respectfully disagree. I don't believe I have a statutory conflict or a moral conflict.
So you've never done business
I didn't say
acting
that.
on behalf of Mr.
On behalf of Mr. Bannon, no,
or Fieldstone?
no. I've hired them, but I've never done business. If your question is, did I ever sell them property or they ever bought a property from me? What's your question?
My question is, have you ever been able to sign on behalf of
No.
Fieldstone on any transactions? Or
No.
for Mr. Bannon?
Not that I know of. Did I
No,
miss something?
no,
So I'll second the motion, you want a discussion?
So, yep, go into discussion on this. We've asked about the DRA for the wood thing, they said that you guys are okay or what you were at, as far as I've been told?
The state forester came out, signed off on it, and I shared his phone number if anybody wanted to call him. I know he spoke directly to whoever filed the complaint. He talked to the logger. Guy was a great guy. We didn't meet the threshold for any requirement for an intent to cut.
That's not true.
Okay, let's see. And you've already gotten this cleared through the planning board for the subdivision?
Yes. Correct. And we've met with the sewer and water, and they require a building permit from this board before they'll take any action on our application before that.
Correct.
I'm sorry, you've had a preliminary meeting with them, and they indicated they have the capacity, is that not correct?
That's 100% correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to Ben today, and he said they're basically just waiting on the board, and he anticipates it's gonna go right through.
Yeah, and we're on their schedule for Monday.
Chairman, when was the time to make public comment? I guess I've been watching and I haven't seen it come up, so that's why.
So public comment is typically in the beginning,
Of the meeting?
of the meeting. So we typically start with call to order, then we do board member comments, and then we do public comment right in the beginning.
Okay, I guess the last time we were here, you guys went into a non-public
Right.
meeting, so.
We went straight into non-public, and then we went into our normal building, our meeting structure after that. Because sometimes there are non-publics that have to be got to right in the beginning of the meeting, because someone has to go running away, because they gotta do something or other. So sometimes we do rearrange the agenda sometimes a little bit, but typically it's just straightforward, it's in the beginning. Now, when we do approve these and there's further discussion, we will take comments sometimes, and that's what we're doing right now, we're trying to just go through the pieces of this. That's why I'm asking the questions about the DRA, the planning board and all that.
So just to clarify, I spoke with deputy for the forestry guy, Dave Elliott. He told me at the time that he walked the land, the project was just on the threshold of either being just under or just over. But then they continued to cut, which then put them over. Which, when I spoke to him after he continued to cut, he said there's a problem, but the problem now lies with the town because the town does not want to pursue based on the amount that they would receive from the DRA. Rick from the DRA explained to, I think he spoke with the town administrator and told him that it would be approximately $100, and then what I was told was, based on the fact that it wasn't very much, that the town wasn't going to pursue having the project get a cutting permit, even though, because he continued to cut, he was then over the threshold.
This has never been the case from any communications I've had directly, because I'm the landowner. So he contacted me directly after the complaint was made, and then after he visited the property. And quite honestly, either way, this has no bearing on the applications that we have before you this evening, but I can say for the record that we've had no communications from any party where we haven't followed the rules, and we have a professional logger doing the work, and so I'm not aware of any issues.
Did they talk to you, Jeremy?
So Rick Evans, who's the guy who oversees the timber tax, wing of the DRA, the way the process normally works is if I get a complaint or if I notice a cut in town that could be over, I'll take a look, I'll take a video or send a picture to him, and if it's clear enough, he'll say over email, like, yeah, they need to do intent, and we found some folks that didn't know or just didn't follow the process, and that's fine. If he's in the area, he'll come by and take a look himself. And then the normal next step is the town sends the owner a letter that says you need to do an intent and a report unless you have an exemption because of these reasons. And Rick came out and he happened to go by when you guys weren't there for once. But he said it was right on the cusp, and the town sends a letter, you reply to the letter like you're supposed to, and that's usually where it ends.
And my reply to the letter was that the state forester, I don't remember the gentleman's name, I think his last name Evans,
Well, Rick's the guy with the DRA.
yeah,
the timber.
Yeah, but I shared the contact of the individual that they had, the state, when you get a complaint, they send the state forester out. And the state forester is the one that evaluates the property. And if there is a need, then Rick Evans gets involved, can get involved, because he's on the, basically the paperwork side of it. And the state forester physically went out to the site, talked to the logger, you know, took a look at the trees, took a look at what we're doing. We're under all the thresholds. Last year, the thresholds went up. I don't know, this isn't my area. So I rely on the logger, I rely on the state forester, and it's RSA, you know, 669 or, you know, whatever.
79.
But there are no issues. We have no paperwork indicating that there's an issue from anybody, and they've received complaints. And they came out, they've communicated that we have, you know, no issues. I shared the gentleman's phone number, you know, with the town administrator. Told him if he has any questions, he can contact him directly.
And just to touch base back on this, so as of the date that Dave Elliott, the forestry person, came out and walked the land,
Elliot or Evans?
it's Elliott.
Dave Elliott, Rick Evans, okay.
And then, I don't know if Rick came out or not, but the day that I know that Dave came out, he said he was either just under or just over. And if he continued to cut, he would definitely be over. He continued to cut. I have video of them continuing to cut. I guess my point is, I understand it, the damage is done, but this man has just continued to skate anything that is supposed to happen per any law in reference to cutting permits, in reference to not driving on posted roads. Yesterday they were driving tractor trailer trucks, logging trucks up and down Memorial Drive when the road's been posted. Claims that there was permission given by the,
Road agent?
I'm sorry?
Road agent?
The road agent, which, again, why? Why was he given permission? The roads are in terrible condition up there. And a lot of that happened when his truck started coming up and down the road. They were not damaged to the extent that they're now damaged. I just don't understand why, and I get, when we were last before the board and we spoke and Selectman Thaxton gave us RSA 79:1, I mistakenly took you at your word on everything that you said, that he didn't have to get a cutting permit, but once I went home and read it, he certainly did, because he did not have all of his permits. If you read RSA 79:1, a person has to have all of their permits before they start cutting the land. This gentleman didn't even have his subdivision permit before he started cutting that property.
You don't need any permits for you to cut your property. You don't. You can hire a logger at any time to cut your property as long as you don't exceed the thresholds.
No, if you read
Listen,
RSA 79:1.
I'm sorry, people can twist words and have their own understanding, but it doesn't mean that it's technically correct. And we followed all the rules. The neighborhood, you know, obviously has changed, but as landowners, we have rights, we pay taxes, and there's been a lot of complaints filed, but there hasn't been a single enforcement issue, and there's a reason for that.
Well, it's because the town didn't want to back
No, it's
up.
because we're following all the rules. That's the
Well,
reality.
They're actually not, but that's okay.
And there's never a dialogue about whether the town would make enough money on the timber cutting. I don't know where that came from, but that's not.
Well, I guess check with Dave Elliott, is that too?
Well, the town would never make the statement that we wouldn't make enough money on it, we're not gonna pursue it. That's not how we do business.
I would hope not.
Right.
As a taxpayer, I would hope not.
And at the end of the day, I mean, we're relying on DRA and the other experts to guide us, and I have nothing in writing or anything otherwise to say that he hasn't followed what he's supposed to do, so.
Well, the expert, the forestry person said if he,
Why didn't he say anything to us?
he's been going through Rick at the DRA, he's been communicating with Rick.
Well, I never heard back from Rick.
And what I was told from Dave Elliott, as of the day that Dave walked the land, he was either just barely under or just barely over. But if he continued to cut, he would most definitely be over. He continued to cut, so therefore he was over. Nobody ever came back out again
It's just not,
Because
it's just not true, cause our logger we walked exactly what we were going, we weren't done cutting when he was out there, but we explained to him exactly what was going to be cut. And so maybe his statements were based on what's going to be cut, but we're definitely gonna cut the house lots where we plan on building the houses. And so the logger it was flagged, the logger walked the limit of clearing with him and said, this is what we're going to cut, what's going to be cut. This is the board feet, this is the tonnage for chips, this is the cordwood. You're under all three thresholds, and you know, it's, interestingly enough, we're under all three thresholds if you count it as one lot, which is the entire project, and we're certainly under the thresholds if you count it as individual lots, which they are now.
Right.
they weren't at the time of the.
And so the reality is, there's no issues here. And people can want there to be an issue, but there's just not. And I'm sorry that everybody has to, you know, hear me.
So,
The-
per
the other-
RSA,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
per RSA 79, it says, who enforces RSA 79? It says the DRA administers and enforces RSA 79. So if the DRA was notified and they felt that he was in violation, they are the ones that enforce it. We have not been notified, there's nothing come through this office, as I'm aware, as Jeremy said, and he's in the clear as far as I'm concerned.
And I would just like to say too, and the reality is that you can call them again if you want and have them come out. And if they think we're over, there's still a process. It doesn't have to hold up the building permit. There's no need to hold up the building permits. But I'm confident that we're fine because it was full disclosure, this is what we were planning on doing.
And is the select board approving him to have duplexes when it's a single family neighborhood?
It's a permitted use in the neighborhood. It's the zoning.
And I got the subdivision approved, full disclosure that we were potentially planning on building duplexes on every one of these lots.
Oh, I heard that you were building houses for your kids, that's what, you told,
I said that my kids might live in one of the units within this development, but the way this process is going, not sure I want them in the neighborhood.
we were never told that there were duplexes until I was walking out of a meeting and, Mr. Berg happened to tell me that it was gonna be duplexes.
I personally presented it at the planning board and I presented it as potentially duplexes. The subdivision application says up to 10 units.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, it's a permitted use.
It's a permitted
So-
use.
We're gonna go ahead and call the vote on this. So all those in favor?
Aye.
I don't think I have any reason to abstain, but I'm gonna abstain.
And everything that we've been presented with tonight, it's unfortunate, I can't say no to it for this reason. So I'm gonna say yes to it as well. The driveway permits, should they be in here too?
What?
The driveway permits?
Yes.
Couple items down.
Okay, I just saw it on the list, so that one goes through with 2 yeas, 1 abstention. Yes, and. So we'll move on to the next one, building permit for solar, map 13 lot 30.
Thank you, have a good night.
See paper we're printing. There's more stuff. Like 30 pages of it. We kill a lot of trees here.
The solar stuff, there we are. Where is this?
South Main Street.
Mounted solar photovoltaic system, 16 panels, no battery installed. Are you the Belpace?
No, we're,
Sumro?
yeah.
Oh. Are you the Belpace?
No.
You're not, are you together?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just want, on this one, I don't think there's any problem with the permit, but I would, we did have a slight issue with one of the earlier solar installations. because they built them to Massachusetts standards, not to New Hampshire rules. And so I would just counsel the bell dates that they need to make sure they should check with
Our ordinance.
our ordinance and our building inspector, so they get the right clearances on the top and on the side.
And
Is that because their solar person is from Massachusetts?
Yeah. Well, and actually the guy that was the problem before was Connecticut.
And have they paid the fee?
And they left 36 inches on the side instead of 42.
Alvin Solar is for commercial.
This is a commercial one. So
No, it's not.
No.
It's for on top of the house. I'm just trying to figure out where 200 South Main is, how far down it is.
Oh, it's gotta be all the way down there.
By,
Down by,
Mark?
Mark on Toon, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Here, it's the other side of the street though, because the even side is the left, the north side.
So my side of the street.
Yes.
So go ahead. We can make a motion.
I move that we approve the building permit for solar from Leo Beltay at 200 South Main Street.
Recommended, making sure that they know they have to follow the Troy ordinance.
Right.
Second.
Discussion, wouldn't be Troy's ordinance, it'd be also New Hampshire standards.
Well, we copied New Hampshire. Yeah. It still follows.
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
That's the newest one, we don't have copies of it.
You don't have the fund.
Maybe.
40? Do you have 40?
What?
Do you have 40?
What do you mean do I have 40?
Do you have this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Might have
Curtis
actually-
got left out.
Ooh, nice looking house. The only question I would have is it doesn't, on the lot, on the plan submitted, they don't show us the footprint of the house relative to the property lines. So I would ask that we table this until I can come back with a corrected, plan.
Let's see if it's in here, just to double check. See if it does say it on these plans. When we there, plans.
They submitted a copy of the survey.
Yeah, that's all I have.
So do you understand what the issue is?
Maybe not quite clear.
Okay. So you've submitted the plans, which are fine, and the permitting paperwork is all fine, except on you've got a layout of the lot, and you show the building restriction line on the lot, that's fine, but you don't show us where the house is.
Okay, because I thought you had to make the building envelope and then put the house in the envelope.
You do.
You didn't have to say exactly where the house was.
Oh, we need to know more or less where it is, yeah.
Oh,
That's the way we've always done it.
Yeah, just to make sure you're meeting all the setbacks.
well, that's why we put the setbacks from the thing and made it so that it has to be within this envelope.
You're gonna build someplace inside that
Yeah,
house.
that's why we did it that way, because it has, I mean, when you get in there, you might say, well, I have to move it 5 feet here because of ledge or something, and then you got an issue, but as long as you stay within the envelope, you meet all the setbacks, and that's the way, I guess, I've understood it, but.
Yeah, so when the building inspector goes out, he also verifies, so he needs something to go by of where you intend to build it.
Yeah, well, that's why we have the building envelope there.
Well, I guess, I mean, I hate to give you a hard time over it, but that's how we do it. If you can just draw in there, and if you have to move it plus or minus 2 feet, it's not really a big deal.
Okay, I guess my question is, do we have to wait 2 weeks now? Will this postpone it another 2 weeks
Yeah.
before we get it approved? What can we put in there now, or?
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't know.
Cause we have dimensions of the house, we could just.
Alright,
you
well,
know.
we'll do something else and you can work
Okay.
on that. Okay.
Alright.
Give me a original.
Do you have a
That's
table
awesome.
where we can go work outside?
Yeah, sure, just a little table there, take
You
the,
want it on here?
Yes.
that's your original, submit it.
Okay.
And, if you have any wetlands, just understand, you can't
Yeah,
build on
he
the
said there was
wetlands.
no wetlands.
There aren't any.
Okay.
That's the lot that goes from TRG.
Oh, okay.
That's why the name's not up in there?
Yeah. Okay,
Alright, and I did just confirm that the road agent did give permission to Chad to be having the heavy vehicles on Memorial Drive.
good.
I just wanted to confirm that. Alright, 4F. What are we looking at here?
The town security camera policy. We're good.
That's the policy we already approved.
This is the policy as it exists.
But if you wanted to
Yeah,
essentially,
so I wanna recommend that, having either just the police or the police and the town administrator only have access to these cameras, nobody else.
I'm fine with that. Since I've never looked at them and I don't want to.
So with that being said, I'd be removed, TJ would be removed, Christina doesn't have it, but she'd be removed with her that access anyway.
So.
Dave has access, but he hasn't actually got his camera set up, is what I'm.
Who
being
has
told.
access?
Dave,
he's gonna download the app.
you just gotta download the app and actually just accept the request.
Does he have like a company, a town iPhone or something? Is it a smartphone?
He's got an Android, but it should, yeah.
Well, you can
It should
load
work
it, you
on
can
both.
load it on there.
Huh?
You
Yeah,
can load it on there.
he says it. Actually, I have to do the same, because they're gonna have the transfer station.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with that being said, John will be removed from the transfer station cameras as well. I know originally he wanted to keep it to see how much snow is down there, but he lives in town, we can just look out the window.
It functioned fine for the last 211 years without it.
Yeah, so. So my motion is to police and Jeremy, town administrator, access only, and everyone else will be removed.
And you said Jeremy has to go to changing the cameras, batteries and all that as well. So that's on you as well. So you have to get the ladder and combine the batteries, charge and all that. So that's your motion. Dick, you second it?
Second, sure.
Alright, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm a no, cause it makes no sense that way, but I got outvoted 2-1, so.
So we have, I just found, I think what these building permits at the back are the other permits for, Chad.
No, those are driveway permits.
These are the driveway permits that go with that.
Yeah,
though.
right, yeah.
So it'd be better if they were all together. Do we need to do something with those building permits? I mean, the driveway permits?
Yeah, just approve it. John's already approved it.
Alright, well, I move that we approve the driveway permits as submitted for 142 South Main Street, Unit A and B, 148 South Main Street, Units A and B, Memorial Drive, no street address. And 136 South Main Street, Unit A and B. And we seem to have got, oh, then we also have the Sumros in here. Am I saying that right?
Somero.
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 Somero, I'm finished, Somero, I'm finished, but that might be a little too hard.
Somero is good enough. That's how we say it.
Well, now I wanna get it right and finished, but I'm not gonna embarrass myself.
My dad used to say some hero.
Some hero.
Yeah.
It sounds Mexican.
Yeah. But Somro sounds a little bit Italian sometimes because it.
Yeah, no, Val
it is
on
an
the
English
end.
name.
Sal Somero. Did figure Italian,
Italiano, you know.
right? It depends upon where you're from.
So you made a motion already?
I made a motion to approve the the driveway permits as submitted.
I'll second. Alright, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then I just realized that their permits mixed in there, which I didn't realize until now.
Yes.
Okay, so we're all good, we're all good.
We're all good.
Okay.
You have a revised map for us?
Yeah.
That is not how I would have thought you were gonna do it.
Yeah, they kinda wanted it.
That's not how we were planning on originally until we're like, hey, like, it makes more sense to like, put it that way.
Okay.
Seems like-
By no means beer, the weirdest house in Troy. That's actually diagonally behind you, where the back of the house is faces the front, and the front faces the back.
Some people will line it up directly parallel to the road, and some people have it offset and
Yeah.
stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
My sister-in-law built her house in Vacaville 35 years ago, and she cheaped out, and it's 2 feet too high in the lot, and she put it the wrong way. And now you drive by and it goes, it should have been lower in the lot. Because to get into the house, it's like, it's okay, but you're walking up a mountain.
Alright, so jump back to that one.
In South Dakota, they just move houses, but they don't have the trees along the roads to worry
Right,
about.
and they got nothing, grass. So I move that we approve the Somro's building permit as submitted.
I'll second. Alright, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I wanna, I have an issue, is the dollar amount, because, I forgot, she said, she got I think an email, a message from the, town here,
Yeah,
and said that's supposed to be the amount of the building permit?
749, yes.
Yep. That's what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
You submitted one for,
Oh,
so the
so
driveway.
50, I guess, well then, wasn't there one for the
She
building, we thought
returned
it was
the
supposed to be 50? Oh, she returned, she gave
Okay,
it,
so you
yeah.
return your driveway permit, because if you're doing the whole bill, I believe it's all included. right?
Yeah, that was separate fee.
No, she
The
actually,
driveway permit
She
fee
actually
is
did it.
included in that?
Whatever Abby said is right.
Okay, cause no, we paid for the driveway permit with $50, and then this is the building permit one, and I had submitted a check for $50 for the building permit, cause we thought that it was supposed to be 2 separate checks.
and
Like, that's what we did 50 and 50,
So
so
this
now,
will replace her original 50 for the building permit,
right,
and then it's another 50 for the building for separate.
Right.
okay.
okay,
It's never good.
I think so.
40. Yeah, so this one would be for the stick-built construction and the barns, garages, additions,
Yeah.
square footage.
So they still need another $50 for the driveway?
No, they paid
We
that.
did that when we submitted the permits originally.
Okay, so this is just for the building permit.
Yeah. It's a nice looking house.
Do you want a receipt for this? Cause Amanda's here, we can give you a receipt.
Yeah, if we can, yeah, alright, yeah.
Give that to Amanda real quick.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
write up a receipt. Just, she's here. I was.
Hi, we'd like a receipt for this. I like your dress.
Did you put the candy on?
My daughters.
Yeah.
Sure.
Alright, on to old business, or we wait for a seat, because we've already voted on that, we've got land use change tax forms.
So we discussed this at the last meeting, you have copies of it in your binders, the original's in there. So those are the ones that the assessor said we can send out a land use change tax bill for.
Right?
So you guys will sign those forms, they'll go to the tax
Do we need to
collector's
vote on
office.
these? Or fine?
Nope, so,
Okay,
they'll go to the tax collector's office, they'll issue the actual bill,
yep,
and then once it comes back, Chrissy signs the actual form and they send it to the state.
they send it,
The one that you sign tonight will go to Chrissy, and she'll send it to the state once we actually get paid.
so they send it to the property owners,
Yeah, they bill them, they bill them.
Yeah,
But the question we had on the ones that we can't bill for, so
yeah,
the state RSA is, it gives you an 18-month window, and if you miss that, you miss it.
okay, so those were over 18 months?
So has this one actually paid for the building permit?
Yeah, they're all set.
Okay, well, we'll sign these, right?
I talked to them about it,
Okay.
and they got their CO.
I got a question. When do we get the actual thing that you post for the building?
As soon as Amanda comes back in with a receipt,
Okay.
we could, each of them sign it now, right? It's good for a year.
Okay.
You can come back, do we do one free renewal, or do we charge them for the renewal?
$50 for the renewal.
Yeah,
Then you need another year. If it
Okay.
takes you longer than 2 years, then you have to go through the whole
I
process.
think it'd be eliminated by now.
Well,
one more vote.
as you can see, they need some room, and
Yeah, yeah.
they're living in a fairly small apartment area, and they wanna get out as soon as they can.
It's like the weather might cooperate.
Yeah,
Well, so he wants to get started in the spring, so he can get the good weather to build it, you know?
just one place for others?
That's it from this one, yeah, this one, this one.
Should be 5 of them. Oh, we're not so they'll do the other forms.
I don't have a copy of the next thing.
Town personnel policy
It's on
form?
there.
I don't have a copy of it either.
Hold it.
Yeah, that's it, that one, yeah.
5 days?
Yeah, he gets the right.
There's nothing in the binder, it's just you guys signing what you were a year ago.
So if you don't mind, if the kids have a piece of chocolate, you can go to the town clerk's window. You can ask for a piece, they have little Hershey Kisses, if it's okay with you.
Okay, I think, if it's okay
Come on
with
in.
Yeah, but at least
Thank you anyway.
Is the paper receipt okay?
Yeah.
And what's the property?
Map 18, lot 33.
Not big, yeah, Prospect Street,
18.
33.
Yeah, it's not a copy of the binder. It's
Perfect.
nothing really new, it's just,
Right.
we never signed it.
No, for now.
Fair point of it.
Here's.
You remember what the page was?
You're welcome.
Right there. Beautiful
Thank
color
you, that's
picture.
all we need right now,
Good to
for
go.
tonight, anyway. We're done for tonight, right?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it.
just don't forget
See
to
anything else
get
from
any
us?
Thank you.
inspections done, if you need any inspections.
Yeah.
You gotta contact the town administrator.
Okay.
And he'll set up the appointment for the town inspector to go out to your house.
Well, let's be clear, because Mr. Somro, sorry, he's not gonna be familiar with our peculiar methodology. So, you need to call Jeremy, who was building a house and wasn't really familiar with the process. And they consulted with him every time they drove a nail in.
Yeah,
I mean, they called him like 12 times in 3 days.
yeah,
And he came out and he'd go, and then he'd come back, and it's like, that's expensive. So,
Yeah.
if you know what you're doing, I'm gonna guess.
yeah.
So, when you need it, call and talk to him and see what basic stuff he wants, then do it, and then call him and say you're done with it. It's not gonna be a horrible experience.
So I was thinking of,
It would help with the CO.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about, like, how do the banks do it? Do banks do separate? I mean, do they require,
Well, and it says that in our building permit application. All the banks generally requires a CO.
oh, okay. And then, okay, so it's a somewhat similar situation as Fitzwilliam, right? Because they don't,
Fitzwilliam is different than us, but probably similar, yeah. I'm not sure what they're doing in Fitz, they have, Lori Nolan, I think, takes care of it for
Okay.
them. But,
Alright, thank you.
yeah, no problem. I would, if you haven't read our rental app, I mean, our building permit application,
Yeah.
it's laid out there.
Okay, yeah,
Maybe a little confusing, because it's not gonna be what you expect, it's not like building in the city of Keene,
okay,
or in the now People's Republic of Ridge,
yeah, okay.
alright?
They're all converting over now?
Pretty much, you guys are taking over, they got all kinds of inspections and stuff.
You don't wanna be
Yeah,
like
well,
Keene?
I'm used to New Ipswich.
Yeah,
I worked 10 years in the town office, but
Yeah.
I didn't do the building inspection stuff and all that. But I
Yeah.
did work in the town office, so I did kind of get
you
some
do,
information about
Sure.
what was going on over
Yeah.
here, but.
yeah. Well, we
Okay.
tried to make it, we had, so that you understand, how did we get here? We didn't have any building inspections 5 years ago.
Okay, well, when I was growing up, we didn't have any building inspector, we didn't have any seat.
Right.
Well, they said you had to get
Oh,
a
fire
leach
chief.
field, you had to get a leach field approved by the state. And you had, if the fire chief came over and looked at your furnace
That's
and your.
correct, and that's where we were 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's where I was at when I was.
Yeah, and we only changed it 5 years ago because we started to have people building here. I mean, in my first, we've issued more building permits in the last 2 years. I've been a selectman, this is my 8th year. We've issued more building permits in the last 2 years than we issued in my first 6. In fact, we issued more tonight than we issued in my first 6 years as a selectman.
Well, you know what my son says? He says that he thinks that, I mean, okay, so Nashville was big in building when I was growing up, and I figured it's gonna maybe eventually move to New Ipswich. Well, now I think it's moving to Fitzwilliam and Troy, because people are being able to a little bit be able to afford, I mean, like, my son said, a lot notice is 125,000.
Sure.
But then you gotta also do a leach field and a well,
Right.
there's no town water, town
Right.
sewer for you. So there's only, I think, 2 or 3 houses in New Ipswich that have town water and sewer.
Yep.
And so he's figuring, you might be 150,000 before you really get into the building part of it.
Yep.
So if you can come to Fitzwilliam and Troy, you can get land for better prices.
And-
But like you say, it might not be lasting because people are starting to build here.
You know, I've sold real estate here for 35 years, and 35 years ago, you couldn't give a property away in some parts of Ridge.
Mhm.
And now, I heard this morning in the well of the house, the average sales price in Ridge is $895,000.
Yeah. I mean, we got, what people, somebody bought this house, 850,000 and paid cash.
Right.
They come from California.
They do,
New York,
New
New
York,
Jersey.
wherever. Yeah. No,
So
that's,
my son said he can't compete with that.
he can't.
He can't, starting out, he's got 7 children now. He
Sure.
said he can't compete with these guys these builders that can go in there and build these houses and sell them for 800,000, and then the lots are 125,000. He can't afford that.
Well, my son just got, the property behind mine, my son just got bid out, he bid $50,000 over the asking price for this property.
Mhm.
And he was outbid by the guy bid 80 over.
Yeah.
You know,
So
and-
he lost it by 30,000, and then the odds are you way over.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All right, well, good luck to you.
Right, thank
Let
you.
us know if we can be of help.
Okay.
So do we know what the changes were of this one?
What? What are we looking at?
Personnel policy.
I know there was,
Where? From April of 2024?
section that's older in the italics that,
I don't have a copy of that, so,
yeah, I didn't put it in,
okay.
or is that even older than that? I mean, I can pull up the old one and see, but.
Are we changing something?
No, we're just signing it, cause I guess we never signed it last year.
Did we vote to adopt it last
We
year?
approved it, but we didn't sign it.
Last April.
Okay, so this is the one where we changed the vacation, the termination,
The
date of
prorated.
employment, prorate stuff.
Or vaguely remember that.
Because earned for that year is, we did it to a quarter of the vacation time remaining instead of earned that year.
Yeah, cause
Because technically, if it's earned that year, it was a
Technically, January first hits and Sarah preloads everybody, but if you leave early, then obviously you hadn't actually earned it all.
Right.
If they don't leave, not a question, but if they do, then.
Yep.
Alright.
So we're gonna pass that around. We have one here to sign, Jeremy?
Yeah,
That's what it is?
That's it.
Oh.
Perhaps down the road, the library will choose to not have their own and adopt ours, I don't know.
I got that.
Maybe.
That was the very first thing that I went through when I got here. I move that we approve the payroll for dated 3/3 in the amount of $27,519.37. Payroll dated 3/10 in the amount of $25,799.87. Accounts payable for February 24th in the amount of $200. February 27th, the amount of $25,248.09. 3/3 for $200, and 7/6, the amount of $7,060.59.
April 18th. That's all we do.
We'll put it on the backside too. Either like wait, or something.
Do a second?
Second?
Any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move that we approve the Board of Selectmen's public minutes from Thursday, February 20th at 6 o'clock as submitted.
I'll second.
And we
Any
have,
further discussion?
I don't see any non-public minutes in
Yeah, I
here.
gotta finish those up.
They're not available?
Not yet.
Okay.
I got 2 February things.
Oh, see? See, don't forget about it. You doubles instead of, you.
Alright, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ooh, what's this pretty one? Fireworks.
Yeah, so that's a letter from the state, if anybody's interested in submitting a comment on their rule changes.
Do we know what they're proposing? Oh, it's here.
Real exciting stuff that they sent us.
Pending rulemaking action initiated by the Department of Safety with regards to renovation of marketing, sales, and possession of fireworks rules.
So, just an FYI, Bob reached out for the town, family day that we do in July for the, Independence Day celebration type thing. The fee for fireworks did go up another $250, so it's $6,250 this year.
Is that coming out of the,
So the town voted to pay for, put $3,000, I think, towards it, and then the rec consumes.
the difference?
Yeah. We are, the rec department and the rec committee is trying to get donations for it.
Yeah.
To help offset the cost. So, we do have, some rec committee members gonna be going around to businesses and asking if they wanna donate.
So this would affect us, these rule changes would affect us, because we are ones who want to display the fireworks.
Oh, no, we hire somebody.
Yeah.
We don't do it ourselves, so if we hire Atlas Fireworks, it affects them.
They have to stay within the regulations and everything.
That's a lot of reading to do.
That's a lot of, yeah, I'd stay out of it.
Wait, you wanna read all these?
But I'd like to point out that on the very last page, it says for the Monadnock Regional School District warrant article, I don't know if the camera's up. Okay, it is, this is good.
That's,
So the school warrant articles, you have the actual what's on the warrant article, and then you have it put in plain language.
Right.
So to help you understand that if what you vote for, if you vote yes or no, this is what you're actually doing. So it makes it a little bit simpler if you don't understand all the jargon. But yes, if you also need a copy of that, I'm pretty sure we have, the town clerk puts copies of these out, or what's on the ballot, and then on the other page is the plain language so everyone can understand.
okay, this does have the amended thing, cause that's what people were complaining about, but when they saw it didn't have the amended.
The budget cut?
Yeah.
so. But yeah, that was sent out, I got it in the PO box, actually I got 2 of them for some reason.
I did too. Probably we got yours.
I didn't get one. Although mail is a whole other subject around.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy.
FedEx, nothing else.
UPS delivers perfectly fine.
FedEx is better than USPS.
Yeah, lately.
They won't take up.
UPS is fine.
Alright, administrator report, tax handout report.
Yeah, so there's been at least one, if not more, residents that have asked about the tax impact of warrant articles. It can be voted that you are mandated to put it on the ballot, we haven't got that point, but I proactively did a calculation of what each article will cost, so it's the ones that actually are coming from taxation. So if something's coming out of a capital reserve fund, it's not there.
Taxation.
I mean, I could do the calculation to determine what it would cost to replenish it, but
No, I don't think that's.
yeah, that's too far.
So last year, this is something that, Richard Wright came to us and was asking about.
Yep.
Why don't we have this and everything? Well, one, it's not mandated, the town hasn't told us that we have to do it. This year, we're being a little proactive, thank you, Jeremy, for taking the time to do this, and seeing what the actual cost is and how it's gonna affect everybody, what if they vote yes on these warrant articles.
The first,
Why do we start off at Article 12? Because that's the
that's the operating
that's
budget.
the budget, and the first 11 articles are zoning or something.
Yeah, so what happened was, all the amendments, or most of the amendments are numbered, but they weren't all numbered, so I renumbered them and then,
Yeah.
we could have done either way, we could have done the way I did it, which makes the warrant look way longer than it really is, because you start at 12, but in years past, what they've done is they lumped all of these zoning amendments and put it under one article number, which we could do in the future, and then the operating budget would be next.
So the example here is 6/100ths. The straight up tax impact of these, which still, this is the reason we never did these before, because they're actually still not accurate. So you can take that math and divide it, but then you don't, it's not really you couldn't determine what your tax rate's gonna be from this.
No,
And this is what people are looking at, and it's not correct,
we just
because,
have to make sure that they understand it, because the county and the school is not added into this.
right, and you're not, also, it doesn't take into account the rooms and meals tax payback, the other grants and stuff that we get back from the state.
Block grant.
Are you just talking about the operating budget one, or all of them?
No, all of them.
Well, the operating
Well,
budget one.
here's what's gonna happen at town meeting. Somebody's gonna go through with their calculator, and they're gonna add all this stuff up. And they're gonna say, well, this is what it cost me, and that's why we never did it before. It has come up repeatedly since, as long as I've lived here.
Because the operating budget.
And Janet would be the first one to tell you, it's not correct. If we take money from surplus and put it against the rate, if we have money from rooms and meals,
Right.
that goes against the operating budget, but we have to raise to appropriate, you have no idea what's gonna happen at the county. So, all of which, and that's based on your assessment as well. So,
If you're gonna put this out to the people and everything, you can put a little blurb on the top. This is not what,
I mean, we don't have to.
well, no, I think it's good because just in a general idea, but let them know, it's
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
think-
set the tax rate. This does not,
I would say it's not even, I would just put it as, this is an example. Leave it at that, cause
The
it's
the way
not,
you calculate the operating budget is you put the number where you have,
yeah,
and then you estimate, which all the revenues are estimates, and then you do the math.
well,
It's like,
this is
You
why,
have a good guess, but you don't know.
this is why this is,
Yeah.
you're playing with fire. It's not that you're trying, it's not quantifiable in the way people would like, it doesn't run like a
And
business.
then you really have to take it a step further and do the math against your valuation of your house to see what it would
Correct.
actually it is.
hit your wallet. It's not a nickel, but.
yeah, 'cause I think we just put it as, if we're gonna put it out, put it as, this is just an example of what could be. This is not exact, because, as Dick said, even working with my budgets, I give I do the budgets for my job,
Yeah,
and it's not exact.
All budgets are an estimate, yeah.
Cause corporate will come in and,
change it.
we have, and a big one right now, tariffs, 20% tariff.
And they delayed it again.
I thought your stuff was made in America.
The product is, but the stuff to make it isn't. We go down south.
Oh,
The
really?
corn and the wheat, all down south.
Did they delay it again for a little while?
They did, yeah.
Not all of it. Some of them are in.
30 days, he said.
Some of them he already put in.
Yeah, 30 days for Canada and Mexico, I don't know. Delayed.
Okay, well, Biden ship in Guatemala.
So do we want copies of these available at town meeting or just?
We don't. Well,
I mean, it could be a situation where just the moderator gets it and you can read it off.
I would say no, don't, cause that's,
yeah, I don't think you want it as a flyer. I
you're
think-
using tax money to print that. No. We wanna put it on the website, say this is an example, let them print their own.
I think you want a couple of dozen of these available at the front table. So if we get into the weeds on this, if we get into the weeds with this as a debate,
We're in for a long night.
you're gonna be looking at a long night, that's right.
That's for darn sure.
But I mean, it could be a situation where that one person gets it, he's happy, and that's all we hear about it, you know.
He's never gonna be
one
on.
person has never been happy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're gonna say cut the
I think
budget,
he plays tough guy.
cut the budget 10%,
one person
12%.
will always be upset. We can't please everyone. If you haven't noticed beginning of the
If you
meeting,
try, you fail.
so,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So our next meeting will be March 20th.
It says 5, but we wanna do 6 probably, right?
Is that a Thursday?
Yep.
Yeah, I need it to be at 6. If you
I
don't-
assume we'll do 6 until the year's always go forward.
So I'll be traveling, but I can call in,
Oh, yeah, sure.
so.
You would wanna miss
Yeah,
that.
and it wouldn't matter if it was a different Thursday, because it's every Thursday in March and every Thursday in April.
And then you're done for the session?
No, that's just what they've scheduled out. It'll be a couple of days, so it's changeover day between the two houses is the 11th. So we take all of the Senate bills with their passed, and the Senate takes all of our bills.
Swap.
Yeah. And then there'll be more hearings, and they wrap up the end of May, beginning of June.
We talked about the impact fees. Do we want Carol to zoom into a meeting and kind of coach us through that? Or she would be able to do that?
She said that?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be.
It sounds like she's somewhere else. She said she's not around. She'd have to zoom in, so I don't know if she wasn't forward.
Probably in Florida, I think, same.
Come on, it's been great weather today. Nice
Yeah,
and
yeah.
melting snow and flooding backyard.
A lot of water everywhere.
I think that would be good, don't you, TJ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I may not be around now.
No, that would be that's a different question.
Alright, so we gotta go non-public under. What did we see?
2C, yeah, or other member, reputation of any person under.
Other than a member of this board. I move that we,
That one,
I think they're all that way. Looking at all three.
yeah,
They're all basically the exact same thing about black and read.
What's that?
for 918, underneath everything on 2C.
Yeah, I think so. Unless somebody has something else that we don't know about.
so, what are we doing?